Peace has returned today in Sharm el-Sheikh. President Sisi and Trump lead a historic summit to lock in Gaza's ceasefire. Detainees are free, prisoners released, and aid finally rolling in. But trust in thin. If Israel re-enters, Hamas may rise again. Trump, hailed by Sisi with Egypt's highest honor, calls the war over and even urged Netanyahu's pardon from the Knesset podium, drawing global eyes in sharp debates. As world leaders pledge billions to rebuild Gaza, the real test begins. Can this peace hold to achieve safety and the prosperity for the Palestinian people? We continue our coverage. Stay tuned with us. And to provide more analysis, joining us from Jericho is Dr. Abdel Nasser Mekki, political science professor. Welcome to Qnews, sir. And it's a pleasure to have you with us on a historic day, Dr. Mekki. How will the exclusion of high-profile, long-serving detainees from the prisoner exchange impact the legitimacy of future inter-Palestinian political dialogue and reconciliation efforts?
Good evening to you and also to all. I think for this matter, I don't think so that the Palestinians themselves have, that the ability in order to release the more detainees or prisoners from the Israeli jails. And this is in the hand of the Israeli. They try, to release much more of the, of the Palestinian prisoners, but as they, in the end, they could, release 2,000, and this is what they did now. So I think it will not affect on the legitimacy of the Palestinians themselves. This is what they did, and this is what happened.
Sir, considering Gaza's total devastation, what immediate, verifiable mechanisms must the Sharm el-Sheikh enforce to ensure sustained, unconditional aid delivery that transcends the current truce limitations?
I think for the as what now the submit on the Sharm el-Sheikh today, I think there will be like a conference in Egypt next November, and this conference will discuss that how they could provide the assistance to the Palestinians from all aspects in Gaza, especially now, as you know, about 95% from Gaza have been destroyed. And this is a mean that all the mechanism of the life, solid waste, sewage, schools, universities, hospitals need to be, reconciliation and need to be, that assistance. So that means they should be like a big conference, which will be maybe held next month in Egypt to discuss all these things, because the people now, they are sleeping on the streets and they didn't have any, that's home for them. And I think needs now, what they need is millions of things. They need also all the foods, they need medical equipment, they need heavy equipment. So all these things, I think they will not be able until there will be like a big conference like today, which will be, that participated by all the countries, Arab countries, Islamic countries, and European and United States of America.
Yes, sir, and it's also worth to mention that President Fattah al-Sisi asked and invited President Donald Trump to attend this summit you're discussing, which is the Reconstruction Summit that will take place supposedly next month, and President Trump promised to be around. Given the catastrophic destruction, what genuine Palestinian consensus is emerging within Gaza regarding the post-war governance, sir?
I think now what we need for the governance in Gaza, as you know now, as Hamas said that they will not participate on the government, maybe after the war today, as you know, it's end. So what there will be like Trump said that there will be like they will be for the peace institution. He will be at the head. There will be like technocrats from the Palestinian and from some Arab countries, and also there will be international forces. But for the matter of the Palestinian in the future, for the governance, I think the Palestinian National Authority, they announced that they will make some reconciliation on some systems, and also they will try, like President Abbas said, that they will call for election for the presidential and for the legislative council. That means there will be election, but this will be after that's the construction of Gaza.
Does President Trump's declaration that the long and painful nightmare is finally over truly reflect the security reality on the ground for civilians in the West Bank and Gaza?
I think President Trump, he gives now the hope for even the people in Gaza. What President Trump today announced even in the Knesset and also in Sharm el-Sheikh, what he said, this is the most important statement from him, that the war is end. And that means there will not be any more, the Israeli will not come back and attack Gaza after the releasing of the hostages. And that means the people now feel like some secure, and now what they want is to start receiving the assistance, and they want to live with hope and peace. This is, I think, what the people in Gaza, and they were confident with the President Trump, and also today with what happened in the Sharm el-Sheikh, especially about 30 presidents from 30 countries. They were on the conference, and I think this will be a collective action from all these people to provide assistance for the Palestinians. But this is depending also on the implementation of the 20 articles from Trump proposal, and that means there will be some discussion and negotiation. But I think this is the challenge for the coming days.
Sir, so upon Trump's statement, which is, quote, long and painful nightmare is finally over, you read, sir, in your narrative is that this is not a fragile peace, a process or a ceasefire, but it is actually on the ground and it's going to be implemented 100%, and you're very optimistic about the plan, the 20 plan ceasefire, and it's going to take place as is.
Yes, I think this is what I am optimistic in this, and I think that
Your Majesties, Excellencies, and Highnesses, peace be upon you and God's blessings. I welcome you all to Sharm el-Sheikh Peace Summit. At this historic milestone, where we all together have witnessed the reaching of Sharm el-Sheikh agreement on ending war in Gaza, and the birth of a glimpse of hope that such deal ends an agonizing chapter in the history of mankind and opens the door, ushering in a new era of peace and stability in the Middle East. The deal offers a better morrow to the conflict-fatigued and strained regional populations. And now we received the valorous peace leaders that attained peace in the entire world. Allow me to invite His Excellency, the American President Donald Trump, to join the peace lovers leaders who advocate for peace in the world. And I would like to express our profound appreciation, Your Excellency, at this critical circumstance reflected in your proposed plan for ending this tragic war, a war during which humanity incurred significant losses. I would like to thank our partners in United States, Turkey and Qatar for their dedicated efforts, and I reiterate our support and aspiration to the execution of this plan, creating the essential political horizon for the implementation of the two-state solution, for it is the only pathway to the fulfillment of the legitimate ambition of both Palestinian and Israeli peoples, turning over the conflict page and safely live. Excellency President, you have demonstrated that genuine leadership doesn't mean war waging, rather the ability to bring it to a halt. We trust your leadership that is capable to carry out the current deal and to execute your entire staged plan. Excellency President, let Gaza war be the last of wars in the Middle East. Majesties, Excellencies, and Highnesses, Egypt launched peace trajectory in the Middle East nearly half a century ago, specifically in November 1977. When the late President Anwar Sadat, may God shower him with his mercy, took unprecedented steady moves in the history of the region and initiated the historic visit to Jerusalem. Since that moment, Egypt has established a new era, granting proselytes a chance for life, and proved that people's security is not only realized by military force. Today, Egypt along with its sisterly Arab and Islamic states, reiterate that peace remains our strategic option. Experience showed over the past decades that this option cannot be founded except through just and equal rights. Based on this, and if the whole regional populations have always been relishing the right to their independent nations, the Palestinian people is not an exception. They too have the right to self-determination and to aspire for a future where war doesn't loom over, own the right to enjoy freedom and to live in their independent state, a state that lives side by side with Israel in peace, security, and mutual recognition. Peace is not only crafted by governments, but also built by peoples when they realize that yesterday's rivals could be tomorrow's partners. I avail this opportunity to appeal to the Israeli people. I say, let us turn this historic moment into the beginning of just and peaceful coexistence prevalent life. Allow us to look forward together to a better future for the sons of our nations. Together, stretch out our hands for our cooperation towards a just and durable peace for the entire regional populations. Excellency President Trump, let us pause at the scenes of overwhelming relief and happiness, whether down the streets in Gaza or in Israel alike, or in the entire world, after reaching the war-ending agreement. Thanks to your wise initiative, it is another evidence to the people's option is peace. We value as well your interest in resuming life in Gaza. Egypt will work with the United States and in coordination with all partners during the forthcoming days to lay down the common grounds for proceeding towards the strip reconstruction without delay. In this context, we are willing to host early recovery, reconstruction and development conference, which will be based on your plan for ending the war in Gaza, in order to provide livelihoods and to give hope to the Palestinians on their lands. Peace cannot be completed until hands are extended for rebuilding in the aftermath of devastation. Majesties, Excellencies, and Highnesses, we look ahead to a bright future to our region, as its cities are built on hope rather on burying the memories of its inhabitants under the rubble. We have a unique and historic opportunity at hand. It might be the last to come to a Middle East free from whatever menacing its stability and progress, a Middle East where its populations relish peace and decent existence within its secured borders and safeguarded rights. A Middle East that is invincible to terrorism and radicalization. A Middle East free from mass destructive weapons. This is the very new Middle East that Egypt envisions to be embedded in collaboration with regional and international partners. Today's agreement paves the way for that, and it should be cemented and implemented in all its stages. And to reach the implementation of the two-state solution, ensuring our joint vision, exemplifying coexistence among the regional populations, even exemplifying integration among all its states. Honorable attendees, before I conclude my speech, and in appreciation to President Donald Trump's efforts, I would like to declare before the August attendees Egypt's decree to decorate His Excellency with the Order of the Nile, the highest state honor among Egyptian decorations. It is awarded to heads of states and to those who render great services to humankind. Thank you all. Now I invite the honorable guest to deliver his speech. Excellency President Trump, kindly proceed. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much, and that was a great honor. I appreciate it very much, Mr. President. Mr. General, Mr. President, great General, great President, thank you very much. This is the day that people across the region and around the world have been working, striving, hoping, and praying for. They have done things over the last month that I think were really unthinkable. Nobody thought this could happen. With the historic agreement we've just signed, those prayers of millions have finally been answered. As you know, the hostages have been returned, and further work goes on having to do with the, sadly to say, bodies. Together we've achieved what everybody said was impossible. At long last, we have peace in the Middle East, and it's a very simple expression, peace in the Middle East, and we've heard it for many years, but nobody thought it could ever get there, and now we're there. I want to congratulate everybody sitting in these first few rows and standing behind me. I don't know why they chose to stand, but I promise I'll make it short, okay? We are not going to keep you standing for long. These are great leaders. After years of suffering and bloodshed, the war in Gaza is over. Humanitarian aid is now pouring in, including hundreds of truckloads of food, medical equipment, and other supplies, much of it paid for by people in this room. Civilians are returning to their homes. The hostages are reuniting. I mean, it's beautiful. I'm just watching it backstage. The level of love and sorrow, I've never seen anything like it. It's amazing when you see they haven't seen their mother, their father. They haven't seen them in such a long time, and they lived in a tunnel, a very little tunnel, very deep, and the level of love is just incredible. It's a beautiful thing to see. It's, in one sense, it's so horrible that it could have taken place, but in another sense, it's so beautiful to see. A new and beautiful day is rising, and now the rebuilding begins. The rebuilding is maybe going to be the easiest part. I think we've done a lot of the hardest part, because the rest comes together. We all know how to rebuild, and we know how to build better than anybody in the world. I want to express my tremendous gratitude to the Arab and Muslim nations who helped make this incredible breakthrough possible. And you really did. To President El-Sisi of Egypt, who is so generously hosting us today. And I want to thank you for the outstanding job your country is doing in so many different ways, and for helping us so much with this peace agreement. I also want to thank the President for the escort of 6 fighter jets. So we looked out the window, we said, I hope they're friendly, and they turned out to be very friendly. But we had 3 on each side, and they are beauties right out of the great, really American manufacturing hub. We make the greatest military equipment in the world. We have the strongest military in the world by far. and I knew exactly what those planes were, and I knew exactly how much you paid for those planes, too. You paid a lot, but you got a pretty good deal, and they are great planes, and we just appreciate it. That was quite an escort in. That was very impressive. But Air Force One was really, it was covered with Egyptian desert. Just a few months ago, if you think about it, just a few months ago it was Egyptian desert, and now it was just a few feet off our window. And it was a spectacular sight, and I appreciate it very much. Really, that was pretty good. You got our people by surprise. I don't know if they were thrilled right at the beginning, but they were thrilled as we sailed along very, very calmly and safely. And I'm deeply honored to receive from you, Egypt's highest state honor, the Order of the Nile. The Nile is so beautiful, so magnificent. It's such a beautiful title, the Order of the Nile. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Appreciate it. Great honor. I also want to give a very special thanks to the Emir of Qatar, a man who's outstanding. He's been a friend of mine for a long time, long before politics, and he's a fantastically respected man. His Highness Sheikh Tamim is respected by everybody. He's respected by everybody, and in the most positive way, not only because of power, because of his heart. He's got a tremendous heart, and he's a great leader, and his country loves him. Thank you very much for being here. It's an honor. Let me also express our condolences to the Qataris on the tragic car crash that claimed the lives of your cherished diplomats, some of whom were known by our people, and they were supposed to be incredible people. So please extend our sorrow and best wishes. That was tough. That was really tough. On this extraordinary occasion, I also want to give our sincere thanks to President Erdogan of Turkey. He's always there when I need him. He's such a tough guy. He is tough as you can be, but we love him. And when they have a problem with you, they always call me to handle it. And usually I come through. We just have a good relationship, but we have from the beginning. And so I want to thank you very much and say hello to your wife, your beautiful wife. And it's great to be with you. Always there. When I need him, he's always there. Thank you very much, Mr. President. And I also want to thank, I just spoke to him on the phone, His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed, Saudi Arabia, a special friend of mine. He's come so long and so far, and he's doing a fantastic job for his country. And I want to just thank him. And, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed of the United Arab Emirates is here. Where? He's here someplace. Well, he's not here. But he's here in spirit, I can tell you that. And he's been another one. He's been absolutely incredible, and we appreciate it very much. And His Majesty King Abdullah of Jordan. And thank you very much, King Abdul of Jordan. He's here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And you really have been a great helper. We appreciate it. Appreciate it. Prime Minister Sharif of Pakistan. And also, I have to say, my favorite field marshal from Pakistan, who's not here, but the Prime Minister is here, and you're going to give his regards. Where are you? There you go. Thank you very much. Do you want to say what you said to me the other day? Come, would you like to say what you said the other day? I think it was so nice. Please.
Thank you very much, my dear President Trump, my dear brother, President Fadil Sisi of Egypt, Majesties, Highnesses, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, and a very good evening. Well, I would say today is one of the greatest days in contemporary history, because peace has been achieved after untiring efforts led by President Trump, who is genuinely a man of peace, who has relentlessly and untiringly worked throughout these months, day in and day out, to make this world a place to live with peace and prosperity. I would say that Pakistan had nominated President Donald Trump for Nobel Peace Prize for his outstanding, extraordinary contributions to first stop war between India and Pakistan and then achieve ceasefire along with his very wonderful team. And today, again, I would like to nominate this great president for Nobel Peace Prize because I genuinely feel that he is the most genuine and most wonderful candidate for Peace Prize because he has brought not only peace in South Asia, saved millions of people, their lives. And today, here in Sharm el-Sheikh, achieving peace in Gaza is saving millions of lives in the Middle East. Mr. President, I would like to salute you for your exemplary leadership, visionary leadership. And I think that you are the man this world needed most at this point in time. World would always remember you as a man who did everything, went out of the way to stop 7 and today 8 wars. I would like to thank my very dear brother, Sheikh Tamim. He's Akh al-Shaqiq, who has really worked very hard along with others to achieve peace in this region. My very dear brother, President Tayyip Erdogan, His Majesty, King Abdullah, and of course, my very dear brother, Mohammed bin Zayed of UAE, and of course, my very dear brother, Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. And he has also been very, very helpful and contributed very valuably in this wonderful peace process. Ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't want to take more of your time. Suffice it to say, had it not been for this gentleman, not only, who knows, India and Pakistan are both nuclear powers. Had he not intervened along with his wonderful team, during those 4 days, the war could have escalated to a level. Who would have lived to tell what happened? And similarly, here in this part of the world, in the Middle East, Mr. President, your valuable contribution along with President Sisi, I think history will remember in golden words. I wouldn't say more except God bless you, God give you long life to serve like this for all time to come. Thank you very much. Very kind.
Thank you. Wow, I didn't expect that. Let's go home. There's nothing more I have to say. Goodbye, everybody. That was really beautiful and beautifully delivered. Wow, thank you very much. Also with us is President Prabowo, a very incredible man, of Indonesia. President, come in. Great job. President Abbas of the Palestinian Authority. See, we have them all. We have them all. Great, great. It's good to have you. And so many others. I have a list here. This first 3 rows and what's standing behind me, I don't know why they chose to stand, but it's there. They're going to be very famous tomorrow. We have the Arab League is represented by His Excellency, and thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much. We have Armenia, and Azerbaijan. That's a little war that we stopped. That's a little war. There they are. Look at them. They're sitting. When I met with them, it was in the Oval Office. They fought for like 31 years or some crazy number. And they had one sitting on that side of the Oval Office, one sitting. By the time we finished in 1 hour, they were both hugging each other. And now they're friends and they're getting along great. Look at it. So I want to thank you both. That's incredible. Really incredible. So you have Armenia and you have Bahrain, you have Canada. It's so great to have, in fact, the president called and he wanted to know if it's worthwhile. He knew exactly what it was. He knew the importance. Where's Canada, by the way? Where are you? Where are you? He knew the importance of this. He said, I want to be there. So many people have done that. They called. I mean, they heard about it. And these are not people that can do that very easily. They have pretty big schedules, to put it in mind. The most powerful people. And I appreciate you being here very much, Mr. President. Fantastic. Fantastic. And Cyprus, Egypt, the European Union, it's a lot of countries. France, thank you very much, Emmanuel. I would imagine Emmanuel standing someplace behind me. Where is he? I can't believe it. You're taking a low-key approach today. He's my friend. That's great. Good job. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Germany, the new Chancellor of Germany he's easy to spot because he's very tall and he's very smart and he's doing a fantastic job for his country. Appreciate it very much. And congratulations, a big election. That was a big one. That was going to change things. Greece, we have Greece. We have Hungary. Oh, Victor, where is Victor? Victor. We love Victor. Victor, I call him. You know, I put the little accent on it. You are fantastic, all right? I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but I'm the only one that matters. You are fantastic. He's a great leader. I endorsed him the last election he had, and he won by 28 points. So you're going to do even better this time. You have another election, and you're going to do great, and we appreciate it. And we're behind you 100%. That's Hungary. India is a great country with a very good friend of mine at the top, and he's just done a fantastic job. And I think that Pakistan and India are going to live very nicely together, right? That's not a very, they are. And they're two great, I tell you, leaders, great leaders as far as I'm concerned. Indonesia, we covered, and I just want to say that that's a big country, a powerful country. It does unbelievably well, and it's great to have you. Iraq, we have Iraq with lots of oil. They have so much oil, they don't know what to do with it. That's a big problem when you have so much, you have no idea what to do with it. So thank you very much thank you very much. Italy, we have a young woman who's, I'm not allowed to say it because usually it's the end of your political career if you say it. She's a beautiful young woman. Now, if you use the word beautiful in the United States about a woman, that's the end of your political career, but I'll take my chances. Where is she? There she is. You don't mind being called beautiful, right? Because you are. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it. She wanted to be here, and she's incredible, and they really respect her in Italy. She's a very successful politician. We have Norway. Oh, Norway. Norway. What happened, Norway? What happened? Where's Norway? Where is he? We have Johnny. We're going to the World Cup. I can tell you that. Where's Norway? I don't think he wants to stand. Oh, he's back there. Well, we have Norway. Oman, again. We have Paraguay. We have really fantastic representative from Saudi Arabia. Thank you very much. I'll tell you what, and this time we'll get you the best seat. He always gets the best seat. He deserves the best seat. But what a great place it is. Spain. Where's Spain? Are you guys working on him with respect to the GDP? We'll get close. We'll get close. But fantastic job you're doing. And UAE, which is great. United Kingdom. Where's United Kingdom? Where's our friend? Where? Come here. Is everything going good? Very good. That's very nice that you're here. These people all came in like 20-minute notice, and I think it's fantastic. And we have so many others, and just so many others. And it's such a compliment to what we're doing, because what we've done is something very unique and very special. So it's perhaps the wealthiest and most powerful group of nations ever assembled at one time, which is a big thing. We have achieved together in recent days a change that really is historic, and it's going to be remembered forever. And I want to thank the American team for their amazing work, and I want to thank, I think he'll go down as the greatest Secretary of State in the history of our country. I really believe that, Marco, or I wouldn't say it. Marco Rubio, I wouldn't say it. Maybe I would. You're doing a great job. Hey, he's on course to do it. We've done a lot of work in 9 months. We've done a lot of work. I say that, 1 year ago, a little more, but 1 year ago, America, the United States of America was was a dead country. The king told me, and I use that, he said, sir, 1 year ago it was a dead country. Today you have the hottest country anywhere in the world, and it is. It's the hottest country. So many investors are here. We have over $17 trillion being invested in the United States, which is a record that nobody has ever beaten. I don't think anybody will. And we still have 4 months to go before it's a year. So in 8 months, we have over $17 trillion. We're actually very close to $18 trillion. There's never been, as an example, the previous administration had less than $1 trillion over 4 years. We have, we're close to breaking $18 trillion in 8 months. That's pretty amazing. No country's ever done that. I want to also thank Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and my son-in-law and a great guy, Jared Kushner. And I even have my daughter here, Ivanka. Ivanka, please stand up. Ivanka's here. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Ivanka. We have a great team, and we have, as you know, General Raisin Kane. We have John Radcliffe. We have Tom Barrack. We have really a lot of good talent. We have Pete Hegseth, who's now Department of War as opposed to Department of Defense. We made a little change. Somehow I like the name better, so do you, so do a lot of people. But the momentous breakthrough that we're here to celebrate tonight is more than the end of the war in Gaza. It's with God's help. It'll be the new beginning for an entire beautiful Middle East. From this moment forward, we can build a region that's strong and stable and prosperous and united in rejecting the path of terror once and for all. We want to get rid of the terror and get on to other things. There are many other things in life that are so good. The final sprint to this deal began less than 3 weeks ago on the sidelines of the United Nations in New York. I met with many of the people in this room, and it all just started coming together. I've known so many of you for so long. You're friends of mine. You're great people. I have a couple I don't like in particular, but I won't tell you who. I have actually a few of them I don't like at all, but you'll never find out who they are. Well, maybe you will, come to think of it. But I have most of you who I like a lot, and I respect a lot. Maybe that's more important. We listened, and we exchanged ideas, and we kept pushing forward until the job was done, and the first steps to peace are always the hardest. And today we've taken them, and we've put them all together, and we've come up with this beautiful mix like nobody thought was possible. And as you know, I've just come from Israel. It was an amazing day to watch the hostages come in and to watch all of the other things and do all of the other things that we did. And like all of us here this evening, the Israeli people are overjoyed that the war has ended. Many of you have had dancing in the streets. They had dancing in the streets. And they've been dancing for weeks now once they heard about this and they heard that it was even a possibility. They're elated at the arrival of the hostages and excited to begin this new chapter for the entire region, and it's going to be that, and they are going to be great partners, and I hope everybody's going to join the Abraham Accord. I like to say the Avraham I love Avraham, but somehow it doesn't sound as good when I say it as it does when some of my other friends say it who are from the region. But we're going to get a lot of people joining the Abraham Accords. We have the 4 great nations that did it early on, and they stayed with it. And then you had the Biden administration, which is the worst administration in the history of our country, and obviously they did nothing on that and anything else. And so it stayed at 4, and now a lot of people, even today, they're talking about all joining up. So many people have talked to me about that, and it's going to be a great tribute to really the United States. I mean, the United States has worked very hard in the Middle East, so it would be a tribute to us and to Jared and to Steve and to all of the people, Marco, all of the people that have worked so hard on that. And it really is going to it's going to guarantee that it all stays together. You're going to do well, because the 4 nations do very well. I mean, they do extremely, they're wealthy, but they're a lot wealthier because of it. So I hope everybody's now joining up. Now we have no excuses. We don't have a Gaza, and we don't have an Iran as an excuse. That was a good excuse, but we don't have that anymore. All the momentum now is toward a great, glorious, and lasting peace. And our commitment to fulfilling the 20-point plan we developed together will be the crucial foundation for achieving that bright future. And it's being worked on right now as we speak. And we're actually in stage 3 and 4. It's not going to be, just divided down so simply. We can be long advanced on some of the things that we say we're going to do. We can take them out of order in a positive way. And we've shown how it can be done with responsible nations like the people in this room, these incredible people in this room, setting aside their differences, seeking common ground, and pursuing a better world for all of us. And that spirit's my dream, that we all get together and enjoy our life. And we're going to put some of you on the Board of Peace. Everybody wants to be on the Board of Peace. They said, would you be the chairman? I say, I'm pretty busy too. But whatever we can do to have peace in the Middle East, it's worth it. But everybody wants to go on the Board of Peace, so we're probably going to enlarge it. We're going to get, and the leaders, the top people, the top leaders, they want to be on the Board of Peace. A beautiful term. At first I wasn't sure, and then I realized how beautiful it is. And for the people of Gaza, the focus now must be on restoring the basics of a good life. We're going to have a lot of money coming into Gaza and a lot of rebuilding and building. It's not so much rebuilding, it's really building, cleaning up and building. And I'm pleased to announce that numerous countries of great wealth and power and dignity have come forward to me, and just today and over the last week, to say they want to help in the reconstruction of Gaza, putting up whatever money is necessary. And the money is, of course, it's a lot of money, but it's not much compared to the value or the wealth of these tremendous countries, and they are ensuring stability and success in the Middle East. So when you think about it, it's a very, very small amount of money is necessary, relatively speaking. And as those commitments are made, I'm going to let the world know who is doing it, because they really deserve great credit for doing it, and they're going to do something that's really monumental. This is a monumental day. This is a monumental moment in the history of the world beyond the Middle East. We've all agreed that supporting Gaza must be done to lift up the people themselves, but we don't want to fund anything having to do with bloodshed, hatred, or terror, as has happened in the past. And for the same reason, we're also agreed that Gaza's reconstruction requires that it be demilitarized, and that a new, honest civilian police force must be allowed to create a safe condition for the people in Gaza. As I said earlier, I intend to be a partner in securing a better future. We're going to be working, you're going to be working with the United States, and we're going to make sure that the Middle East is going to be a safe and secure place. It's a very important place in the world, means so much. There were so many people who said the Middle East, and this has been going for many, many decades. I've read it many times, that World War III will begin in the Middle East. It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. There was a time that you would have thought it could have, but it's not going to happen. There won't be World War III, hopefully at all, but it's not going to start in the Middle East. We're not going to have a World War III if we're smart. There'll never be a World War III. Our work begins right here and right now. From ancient times, this region has been extraordinarily mixed with respect to people, culture, religions, all of the different elements of national characters, unlike maybe anywhere else on earth. And for 3,000 years, there's been conflict. For whatever reason, there's been tremendous conflict, always conflict. But today, for the first time anyone can remember, we have a once-in-a-lifetime chance to put the old feuds and bitter hatreds behind us. And that's why so many people in this room, they didn't get along. Some did, some didn't, but they're getting along now. This has brought the people together. This is the first time the Middle East crisis has brought people together as opposed to driving them apart. And to declare that our future will not be ruled by the fights of the generations past, which is foolish. So together, let us continue in the spirit of cooperation and goodwill that has finally brought us to this incredible, historic breakthrough. If we do together, we will reach the Middle East's incredible destiny, a safe and prosperous and beautiful crossroads of culture and commerce, faith in humanity and geographic center. This will be the geographic center of the world. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank you all for what you've done and for this quick notice. It all came together just at one little period. It just came together. It's the greatest deals happen that way. If you do anything about deals, that's all I've done all my life is deals. The greatest deals just sort of happen. And that's what happened right here. And maybe this is going to be the greatest deal of them all, not just nation building, not just having to do with this or the political whims. This will be maybe the greatest deal of them all, period. And I want to thank all of you and all of these great nations and this region for what it's gone through and all of the fights it's had, or life over death and hope over strife and harmony over hatred. That's what we want. We want it to be that way because together we're going to forge a magnificent, great, and enduring peace. I want to just end by saying God bless you all. God bless the Middle East. God bless your countries. And God bless you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. So if we could ask the media to leave, and we're going to have a little conversation with all of these great leaders, which will take 5 minutes, and we'll just talk for a couple of minutes. But if we could ask the media to leave, would be great. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
At the Sharm el-Sheikh Peace Summit, U.S. President Donald Trump and Egypt's President Fattah el-Sisi closed the historic day, or ended a historic day that many call the final chance for peace in the Middle East, or never believed that it would take place. Both leaders declared that the war in Gaza is over and that the region now stands at the gateway to a new beginning built on cooperation, reconstruction, and hope. President Sisi said Egypt's message to the world is clear. Let the Gaza war be the final war in the Middle East. He also stressed that the safety of people can never be achieved through military power, but through justice, dignity, and coexistence. He reaffirmed Egypt's full commitment to working with the United States and all partners to lay he also mentioned President Fattah al-Sisi expressed his, of course, profound appreciation for ending this catastrophic war, and he also thanked and was very thankful to Turkey and Qatar for the fulfillment of the legitimate existence of both the Palestinians and Israel as a two-state solution. He said, let Gaza war be the last of wars in the Middle East. These are the words of President Fattah al-Sisi. And he went on to say that in 1977, Egypt witnessed when the belated President Anwar al-Sadat initiated to Jerusalem, and it was not, it is not only realized by military option, or was not a military option, but it was realized by justice when he reached a solution with Israel. Palestinians have the right for self-determination. These are the words of President Fattah al-Sisi, an independent state that live with Israel side by side peacefully. Let's turn, these are the words of President Fattah al-Sisi, let's turn this historic minute to look forward to a peaceful future, whether in the streets in Gaza, Israel, or in the entire world. Egypt will work with the United States and other partners, which are guarantors on the plan. Development conference will take place under rational leadership, and he was pointing out to President Donald Trump. A Middle East with stability and respect without radicalization. Today, an agreement paves the way for that, and it's an exemplifying moment. Thank you all. These are the words of President Fattah al-Sisi, and when he gave the podium to the U.S. President, U.S. President's first words were, Mr. General, Mr. President, this is the day that people around the region, the world, with the historic agreement signed finally, and detainees released, everyone, and the detainees are released. Everyone said this day would never come and was impossible. This is a historical day. Bloodshed, war in Gaza is over. Words of U.S. President Donald Trump is over, and now humanitarian aid is pouring. Hospitals are getting ready. Mixed relations of love and sorrow. So beautiful rising and rebuilding begins. Gratitude and gratitude, of course, to the Arab and Islamic leaders that made this possible. Thanks, of course, to the President of Egypt who hosted us today in this amazing, strong and for, of course, the strongest military aid in the world, referring to President Fattah al-Sisi and mentioning the First Force. Very much thanks. Also, this was President Donald Trump to the Emir of Qatar, a man respected by everybody. Thank you very much for being here. And of course, he sent his condolences to the Qatari high-ranking officials that passed away on their way 50 kilometers away from Sharm el-Sheikh. He also thanked Erdogan of Turkey. He is always there for me when I need him. He is my friend. Of course, he mentioned Prince Mohammed of Saudi Arabia and King Abdullah of Jordan, and then which, of course, he mentioned that they had great real momentum and input. Prime Minister of Pakistan, which President Donald Trump gave the word to him. The President actually said that he thanks, of course, very much President Donald Trump, and he mentioned that the war between India and Pakistan would never end without Donald Trump, when he said that Donald Trump must be the Nobel Prize winner of peace because he ended 8 wars today with this historic word. They were 7 and now they're 8, and nominated him for this, of course, and he thanks him very much. He said thank you very much, and it is a very good evening contemporary history under untiring efforts under President Donald Trump, who is a man of peace and prosperity. This is the words of Prime Minister of Indonesia, of Pakistan. And of course, he mentioned that today's historic accomplishment in Sharm el-Sheikh, achieving peace in Gaza, saving millions of lives, man that did everything to end 7 and today 8 wars. This is the Pakistani Prime Minister. And then, of course, he thanked Sheikh Tamim, Erdogan of Turkey, and United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, whom contributed in this peace process. And of course, he mentioned that India and Pakistan are 2 nuclear countries, and if not for Donald Trump, this war would never had ended. And thank you very much, Mr. President. These were the words of the Pakistani Prime Minister. Then, Donald Trump went on to thank, of course, all the leaders, Giorgia Meloni of Italy, Prime Minister, and saying that she is a wonderful, beautiful politician with great potential, and of course, steer marker of the United Kingdom, very unique and special one of the great assembled gathering, most leaders of the world agreeing over peace, a historic day, which is today. And a new beautiful entire Middle East to get rid of the terror. Your friends of mine, your great peoples, mentioning all the gathering and all the entire summit that's taking place at that moment. And of course, President Trump ended and thanked President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi for this, of course, great summit, a monumental moment in the history of the world, saying that the war in Gaza is over after years of bloodshed, and what everybody said was impossible came true. As I mentioned, he praised President al-Sisi and thanked Arab and Muslim leaders, including Emir of Qatar, the Saudi Crown Prince, and the United Arab Emirates President for making the peace deal possible. Trump announced the creation of a new board of peace to coordinate Gaza's rebuilding and ensure long-term regional stability, adding that everyone wants to be on the board of peace. And he said that it needed a little of money, not much money, to gather together Gaza and to rebuild Gaza. And he also thanked his senior aides, Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, for their efforts, saying we kept listening, sharing ideas until the deal was done. Trump said this is the greatest deal of all deals and urged nations to stay smart to prevent future wars, remarking, we will not have a World War III if we're smart about it. Pakistani's Prime Minister, as I mentioned, hailed the summit as a triumph of diplomacy, crediting President Trump's leadership for saving millions of lives in Gaza and announcing Pakistan's nomination for Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. As world leaders depart Sharm el-Sheikh, the message was one of unity and optimism that this day marks not only the end of devastating war, but the birth of a new and more peaceful Middle East. And to shed more light, joining us from Cairo is Mohammed Azzeddin Al-Ahram, Managing Director. Welcome, sir, to Q News. Sir, a significant day, of course, today, a historic day as well, as the Sharm el-Sheikh Peace Summit in redefining the political landscape of the Middle East. And can it truly be seen as the final chance for peace?
Thank you for having me here in Q News. Of course, this is a historic event today. We are witnessing a historic event, the convention of all of these countries, and ending a war where thousands or tens of thousands have been killed, and then tens of thousands also have been injured, is a very historic event, and it is the number one cause in the Middle East and in the world, and the tension isn't just in the Middle East but around the world. The Palestinian cause is very important, and stopping the bloodshed and the genocide that was against the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, one of the most important things that today's summit has stopped. Egypt has witnessed here in Sharm el-Sheikh, the land of peace, has witnessed the largest event in declaring peace, not just in the Middle East, but if we compare the number of the martyrs and the injured and the destruction, we can say that it is the largest war to have such consequences. And so today is a historic day with all the meanings that this word can have, with President Sisi and the leaders around the world and the Egyptian mediators, and then also our brothers in Qatar and Turkey. All of this gives huge guarantees, and also the U.S. president being in Israel first, and him talking about the importance of peace, and that the Sharm el-Sheikh summit will end all of these suffering, and also in addition to the grave losses, gave such a positive initiative before arriving in Sharm el-Sheikh, and this large number of leaders around the world shows and reflects that this event is a historic event that will go down in history, and that we need to hold on to it and take advantage to it, and continue the reconstruction and look at the phases of governing the Gaza Strip, and also trying to get a political long-lasting solution through a two-state solution, and then going back to the negotiation table about that.
President Fattah al-Sisi emphasized that peace cannot be achieved through military power, only through respect. How does this reflect Egypt's long-standing diplomatic doctrine?
Egypt has put so much effort, and so the U.S. President's praise and all the leaders, this shows how much effort they put, and they praised also President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi many times today. The U.S. President, throughout his speeches, he praised and hailed Egypt's role, and the presidents also, and so this shows how much effort they put, and their wisdom in leading this, and the wisdom of the Egyptian president, and also the balanced policy that holds on to the principles, and that war doesn't lead to peace, but peace is what makes history, and that the prosperity of the nations comes from peace. And so from this here, the Egyptian insistence on the importance of reaching a peaceful solution and having all the parties here, even though there were lots of obstacles, and not just the genocide in the Gaza Strip and in Palestine, but also the starvation war that Egypt has put so much effort to try to alleviate some of the suffering of the Palestinians through delivering humanitarian aid and insisting on keeping on with the peaceful and the peace path. And so this here is such a success for the Egyptian policy and the Egyptian leadership, and it shows the success of the deterrence policy that protects the Egyptian lands and prevents any breaches. And so the respect that Egypt has didn't come from nothing. Today, the U.S. president talked about the planes that escorted his plane before he came to Sharm el-Sheikh. No, it was not just a welcoming message, but it was also a message to show that Egypt can protect its land and protect its neighboring land. And so today, the Egyptian leadership and the Egyptian role and holding on to the principles led to what we saw today. We are seeing a historic event that will go down in history books. It will go down that it was signed on Egyptian lands, the land of peace Sinai and Sharm el-Sheikh. And so, the whole world. So what happened today, and everyone agrees that the rest of the phases also need to be implemented with international guarantees, with the leaders of countries around the world being present, and also, of course, the mediators with Egypt and Qatar on top, and also Turkey in the upcoming phases. And so this agreement and this it's historic, and it came after so much effort, and the Egyptian effort here was put so much, and it is full of details and full of history and secrets and insistence on having a peaceful solution for the Palestinian cause.
Sir, the agreement highlights reconstruction in Gaza as a top priority. What concrete steps are expected from Egypt, the United States, and international partners and grantors, of course, to ensure that rebuilding efforts actually translate into long-term stability?
You said here, as also the U.S. president has said twice, I think he said twice or 3 times that starting or the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip starts today. And so Egypt has a comprehensive plan a few months ago, and it got the approval of the Arab and Islamic countries. In addition to the partners in development, they have a reconstruction plan for everywhere in Gaza, and it starts first with removing the rubble, and then starting to, and also in parallel with intensifying the delivery of the humanitarian aid. And then this started yesterday. Around 400 trucks were delivered. They were full of medicine, food, fuel, and basically everything that
Got
they
your
need.
point, Mr. Mohammed Azzeddin, Al-Ahram Managing Editor. Thank you very much for your valuable analysis and insights, of course. Hope is alive. The world watches. Its promises meet reality in Gaza. Stay with us for continued coverage. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more updates and Q News minute-by-minute coverage. Don't go away.